so much, buddy. I hope I'm audible. And for the last rows, it's fine if you're not, but it's after a heavy lunch meal, so it's important to keep you all awake. At least there is some lights thrown on them. The front rows will be awake. But before even I start, today happens to be two very important days. Any guesses what it is? Today is World Doctors Day, and today is also National Day of Chartered Accountants. Right? One guy helps us save money, the other person helps us spend it at lot. Right? So happy World Chartered Accountants Day and Doctors Day to all of us, or rather all of you if there is doctors and chartered accountants in the room. On that note, it's very important that I form a particular pattern when I actually talk. It's 20 minutes right after lunch, but the first important thing is what do I talk to you about is one thing that I've decided, but how I speak to you about is something equally critical. That do I use, what language do I use? So let's take a head count. We're doing this at Chennai, so let's take a head count. How many of you are comfortable if I speak in English? Put your hand up. Right? How many comfortable if I speak in Tamil? Put your hand up. How many are comfortable if I speak in Hindi? Put your hand up. All right, cool. So if I speak in English, all of you will understand. If I speak in Tamil, some of you will understand. If I speak in Hindi, I myself will not understand. So, Tamilukkum, Thai Tamilukkum, Mudal Vanakkam, Ingirukkum Anivarukkum, Irendavathu Vanakkam. Having said that, Sandeep and the entire team at nasscom, thank you, and Uday, everybody, my brother in arms, thank you so much for making this happen. They've strategically put a session right after lunch, which means that either I have an opportunity to do one of the two things, keep you awake and keep you excited, or along with you, I also go to sleep. So let's see one of the two happens today, but it's important to capture the attention of the audience in whatever you do as a speaker when I come. So I have some statistics and I have some tactics that I use, some games that I play to make people alive and active because there's something interesting that's going to happen on stage. What is that I use? Depending on whichever part of the world I go and speak, I have some tools to try and keep you awake and alive. For example, if I am in New York, I show you this and you get excited because it's Statue of Liberty. If I'm in Paris, then I show you this, you get excited. If I'm in China, I show you this, you get excited. We are in the heart of Chennai, so just to grab your attention, I have to show this and get you all excited. I told you, they're all awake. Sandeep, where are you? Uday, I told you they're all awake, Uday, which is awesome. Now that I've grabbed your attention, let's deep dive into something equally exciting, all right? And we're going to talk, we're going to play, we're going to try and interchange something. And in 20 minutes, let's see if we can actually, make each other wiser. Let me learn something from you and also pass on something that I think is important at this juncture. It's actually a sad state of affairs that a session on happiness is getting a keynote at the largest HR conference in the country. Why is it a sad state? Because is it gone to such an extent that we are actually trying to derive ways and means to talk about happiness and make happiness a priority, which should actually be something simple every day, right? It should be a simple exercise instead of us going in search and getting an expert speaker on stage. But I get my living and my money from that, so I'm not complaining about it. But having said that, it's important to try and slowly dive into, we at Happy Mascots are experts in creating culture and wellness strategies. But before I get to that core, I'm here to try and share some interesting things about life, some interesting perspectives about happiness. As HR leaders, etc., you've created something phenomenal around. So we'll deep dive into that and see if we can learn from each other. So I'll be asking you a lot of questions as we get along. And my first question to you is, what is happiness according to you? Right? And I need specific answers. So let's see if we get specific answers. Gentlemen, what's happiness according to you? No, you can just shout. Peace of mind. You're married? Wish you luck. What's happiness according to you?
Accomplishing something I like.
Don't speak like a HR. Talk properly.
I speak like a technologist.
What is happiness for you? What do you do?
Still I say that.
Accomplishing something. What's happiness according to you, madam?
It's a state of
The state of mind. She's gone into the yogic philosophy now. Now, Dottie, you're going to help me. What's happiness according to you? What do you feel happy doing?
I think it's about being valued and appreciated.
Being valued and appreciated, which is fantastic. Happiness according to you?
People around me are happy, then I'm
People around you are happy, then you're happy. Fantastic. You're married? You have all the right qualities to get married. That's why I said. Keep everybody around you happy. Madam, what's happiness according to you?
Happiness, according to me, is my comfort zone.
Is your comfort zone. So, how do I get to the comfort zone and know what is happiness? Rather, tell me now itself.
Sleeping, I'm happy.
When you're
I'm dancing,
sleeping,
I'm
you're happy.
When I'm dancing, I'm happy.
When you're sleeping, you're happy. So, I hope you're not happy for the next 30 minutes so that you don't go into sleep. Gentlemen, what's happiness for you?
for me, friends.
Friends are a lot of happiness. So different perspectives are there. For example, I was in a session last week in Mumbai and I was asking a crowd, what's happiness to you? One person said, my wife coming out of the house when I'm leaving to work and bidding me goodbye is great happiness because I feel happy because she's cheering for me and hugging me and sending me off. I asked the person next to him, what's happiness to you? He said his wife coming out and waving me goodbye is good happiness. So it's a perspective. So we don't know what perspective who shares, but we asked all of us. Happiness is a perspective, ladies and gentlemen. It's not an end destination. It's not that when I'm 60 and when I construct that villa outside of the city and I go to that Euro trip, etc., I'll feel happy. No, it's on that. We never know we'll reach 60, especially if we board flights these days. But then the whole perspective is each and every day, each and every moment, like now, like today, we have plethora of opportunities to keep each other happy. The question is, are we doing that? And as HRs, we're usually seen as role models for anything and everything. So there goes my next question and my next exercise, that if we think we want to make somebody happy, we can do it in as many as 60 seconds that we have with us, right? Let's do a simple 60-second exercise. Those who want to follow can, otherwise others can be, okay, it's not by force, but gratitude sometimes is possibly the shortest word which has got the longest meaning in life, right? When was the last time you said thank you to somebody? When was the last time you said thank you to somebody, Krishna? Long time back? You're still married? I'm going back to that question because it all has correlation. When was the last time you said thank you to somebody? Just outside. Very good. See that? Girls usually have a lot of gratitude. That's why they say that. For me, thank you or gratitude is a very, very powerful statement. So the first happiness exercise I want to do with you is just 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, you can make a world of difference to somebody. Please take out your cell phones. Think of somebody, for 15 seconds, think of somebody for long whom you wanted to actually send a thank you note. Not a note, just thank you, 2 words. Don't write an essay because we don't have time, you'll miss out on my session. Go and explain to them why you sent that thank you a little later after the session is over. But just send a thank you to somebody whom you always wanted to show that gratitude of thank you. It could be anybody. It could be a colleague, it could be a spouse. It need not be somebody else's spouse, but it could be a friend, all of that stuff. So just send a thank you and keep your phone back. Do not touch it for now. But the impact of that will be seen when that person responds and says, why did you do this? And then you explain the whole thing. There is a moment of happiness, there is a moment of wow. I was in another session last week in Kolkata where I asked somebody to send a thank you. He very quickly took his mobile phone, sent a thank you to his wife, so romantically, and he was expecting a reply. She replied back saying, why are you saying the stupid things? I know you're going to come home drunk tonight. The keys are under the flower plot. Please take it and come and sleep silently. So it depends upon how people perceive what we are going to say, but explain it in a beautiful count and do that exercise. You'll realize it after 30 minutes when the response comes, when you have to explain why you said a person thank you. But on that count, I move on to my next statement. As gratitude, as HRs, as human resources professionals across, as leaders in HR across, we are usually called upon, right? Whenever there is something happening in the company, it could be a natural disaster, it could be an annual day, it could be a lockdown, it could be an appraisal, it could be some fire, it could be anything emergence. What is the first thing that comes to people's mind? Yes or no? All of you agree? Give me a louder cheer. Yes or no? Right? Okay. Don't clap for yourself. You can clap a little later, but I'll tell you why. We are the first call of action whenever somebody wants something, right? Immediately, when there is food shortage, call HR. When the washroom is not working, call HR. When appraisal has to be done, call. I'm saying the gratitude, no job is a lesser job. But I'm saying we are the first point of contact for anything that happens in the organization as HRs. Now, I'll have the following segments that I'll tell you, some illustrations. If you have done that as a HR, put your hand up and make some noise for me, right? How many of you in HR have conducted birthday parties and cut cakes for colleagues? Make some noise and put your hand up, right? Both, so that nasscom knows that I've made people awake, right? You've cut birthday parties. How many of you have been sport and event managers and conducted events for people to come and stand? Right? How many of you have, as HR, heard out your colleagues' mental wellness and been like an unpaid therapist? The loudest cheer comes for this because we are unpaid therapists, right? We hear people. And how many of you, for example, have been juggling all of this along with your regular job? This is this is not a job that you can put up on your CV and said, I heard out a colleague's mental health and trying to be, it is a part of a regular job, but it takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of effort. How many of you have done that, juggling so many tasks? HR are master jugglers, isn't it? Lastly, and more importantly, HRs are possibly the biggest cheerleaders that the company can ever get, right? How many of you have been there cheering for your colleagues, cheering for your teammates, cheering for your managers, cheering for your CEOs, all of us as HR? Right? You've always been in the crowd being to cheer and thank. Now, as a happypreneur, as a happiness expert in India, I want to stand before all of you and maybe for the first time, give the loudest cheer for every single HR in this room for actually cheering for your colleague, for actually being a cheerleader, for actually being an event manager, for actually being a birthday planner, for actually being a therapist, for actually juggling so many hats, which seldom gets recognized. I want to start this on stage. If we don't recognize and push each other and feel proud about each other, who else will? So thank you for being a HR. That's my thank you note to each one of you, because it's seldom said, but I wanted to use this stage to actually say thank you for being a HR. It's one of the most gratifying position in a company, because you are responsible for the mental health, the wellness of your colleagues, etc. Why is this being a whole topic? Because then as HRs, we are bound to be talking about so many things and being responsible for so many things. Hence, in my opinion, HRs, the new definition of HR is not tech-enabled HR, is not AI-enabled HR, human resources. It's time that we actually focus on the human side of human resources rather than the resources side of human resources. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, my perspective of HR now stands as happiness resources. HR means happiness resources for me, and we stand as happy mascots for the company. But then as happy mascots, what are we responsible for? And we are experts in crafting this whole mental wellness strategy, and wellness strategy is just not about organizing, if you're an employee engagement expert, you want to keep employees happy, it's just not about organizing song and dance, birthday parties, it's going a lot more deeper. And that's what we specialize as Happy Mascots, where we offer wellness solutions across the year, which has fun, which has inclusivity, which has a lot of elements to take care of all elements of well-being, mental, physical, psychological, emotional, all of that. In that exploratory phase, here is a quick 5-step wellness strategy that you can co-create along with us for your colleagues, that we've put it in a particular manner. So if you're looking at wellness strategy, this is not the only one. You can craft your own, but this is just my explanation about how a cheat code for a wellness strategy that we can create. The first, of course, on wellness is actually health, right? If life is a race, and this is the medium that we are running the race, this is your vehicle. If we don't take care of this vehicle, then sooner or later we have to stop somewhere for a long time to refuel and take care and service this vehicle. So health comes first, be it for us or for your colleagues. Your first talking point in your wellness strategy is actually health. What can you do to better the mental health, the physical health of colleagues? It could be camps, it could be awareness about health and perspectives about health, but we need to take care of this body, and even food, right? If you start eating food in a little by little manner like you eat medicines, then later on in life you need not eat medicines in a big quantity like you eat food. So it all starts with the health, because a happier body is a happier soul is a happier you is a happier world. So it starts with health as my first point. Then is aspirations. Goals are very critically important, because if life is a race, we need not run farther thinking what is the eventual destination. It's also about interesting milestones or smilestones that we could call it, which come across in our way to try and create that. Aspirations is about sowing those dreams, is about planting those seeds of dreams inside each one, and each one of us as well to have something to go behind. It's not that I want to become a manager, senior manager, vice president. That ain't be aspiration, but it's a bigger thing as well. Take people along, be a part of a larger setup, be a part of a goal that pulls people along. Because remember that if you want to go fast in life, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So togetherness in aspiration, taking people along and going along in aspiration is what that makes aspiration a lot more bigger, better, and beautiful. The next of my philosophy in this is passion. Each one of us is passionate about something. Somebody's passionate about music, somebody's passionate about fitness. When I go and ask, when was the last time you exercised that passion? He or she tells, maybe when I was in college, maybe 5 years back, I don't have time for it in my regular work. Passion is an essential existence along with your regular work and not apart from it. When I come to a Saturday, when I come to a Sunday, when my annual vacation, I'll do something that I'm passionate. No, it's a very, very essential part of a wellness strategy that you fix somebody's passion alongside the work that they're doing, because the passion gives you serotonin that actually pushes you to be a lot more productive and happier as a human being. That happy hormones are released when you actually do something that you're extremely excited about. So that's passion. So infuse that passion inside you and your colleagues to make them find what they are passionate about. I think so that will develop a much more satisfying human being. The fourth and the more important value that I'm going to talk to you, which is what all of us run this race about, is Paisa. Paisa is not just about making money, is about money work for you. It's just not about earning money, it's about financial wellness. Had I known this 10 years back, had I known this 15 years back, had I started my SIP when I was 22, had I known about this investing scheme when I was this, financial wellness, obviously nobody can come back and say, more money will make me less happier. No, it's never happened. When people say that money can't buy you happiness, it's important to sit inside your Mercedes-Benz and talk about this, right? It's much better that way. So financial wellness, financial awareness is a very, very important aspect of this whole wellness strategy. Be aware of the tools and techniques, teach other people, you yourself be aware of not just to make money, but to eventually make money work for you. And that is possibly a revelating fact of wellness and happiness. Happiness is just not about earning money, but also about making money work for you. And the last piece of this puzzle that tallies this whole 5-point wellness strategy is yourself. YOU. Eventually, what kind of a human being you eventually want to be? What is the kind of perspectives, ethics, and values that you're sowing inside yourself? And what kind of a person you aspire to become with all of these values? Eventually, it comes down to the kind of human being you are. This is the 5-point happiness framework that we have fixed, that we work along with organizations to co-create their wellness strategy. This you perspective, what kind of a human being you eventually want to become, is beautifully explained when a manager and his 10 colleagues were inside a meeting room. He asked them to blow a balloon, write their name, leave that balloon in the room and go out. And he said, go inside and search for your balloon as fast as you can. They all rushed inside the room and they were stamping each other's balloon. In 60 seconds, nobody had their balloon with them. Then he called them back and he asked them to blow the balloon, write their name, leave it there, go out. Then he said, now go inside, whichever balloon you find, go and give it to somebody whose name is written on it. In 15 seconds, each one of them had their balloon in their hand. That balloon, my friends, is your balloon of happiness, is you and what the world you want to create. If you go inside life just searching for your own balloon, you'll be stamping on others' balloon. But just go inside life to try and find somebody else's balloon of happiness and give it to them. Your balloon of happiness will come along with you and somebody else will make your life even more bigger, beautiful, and nicer. So try and create a world for you which is spreading a lot of joy, creating a lot of happiness, and seeing happy world around you is possibly the biggest blessing today. And this 5-point strategy is something that we thought we leave it with you, for you to take back and say, this is the cheat code to try and create a wellness strategy in different aspects covered. And we are here to enable it for you as much as we can. Having said that, like I told you, the thank you exercise, when the person responds back, is the first of the happiness exercise that we can do to create some joy around us. It need not take 1 year, 5 years, 10 years to do something happy. Happiness is an everyday habit. If you want, you can create it in 30 seconds like we just created. For example, if you have just 5 minutes for you to be happy, listen to a good song. I told this before that HR for me stands for happiness resources, and that is a talking point from today, that we are all not just a function or a leadership function that takes care of people. We are the heart of the nerve center of everything that happens in the company. So happiness originates, while happiness is everybody's responsibility, HRs are key enablers in that. You guys are happy mascots who are responsible for the lives and happiness of people. So it is definitely a blessing to be a human resources professional, and I want to state that before all of you. And as I told you back before, even if you have 5 minutes to be happy, we can create that happiness. It's not something that we get after years of struggle. If you just have 5 minutes, listen to a good song. If you have 10 minutes, listen to this man speak. If you have maybe 1 hour, if you have 1 hour to be happy, take a good nap, not during the conference. If you have 3 hours to be happy, watch a good movie. If you have 1 day to be happy, go on a nice trip. If you have 1 month to be happy, get married. But if you have a lot of time, and if you want to be continuously happy in everything that you do, learn to sow a lot of love around you. Learn to see people happier. Be a source of other people's love, because what you sow, so you reap. And that love and happiness comes back to you leaps and bounds in unexpected ways and means. My last 30 seconds here, and this is, of course, you don't need me to come and tell you that all it takes is 5 minutes to be happy. But if we make happiness a habit, I think so that's what the world needs today. The solution or the answer to any bigger problem in life actually starts with a happy soul. So if we start sowing that seeds of happiness, the world around us becomes a much more beautiful place driven by love and happiness and not by hatred. Having said that, my last exercise to all of you today, before I leave the stage, is to try and make you realize the power of happiness, the power of happy human beings, is by producing happiness. Happiness is a science, and they said the happy hormones can be produced. Oxytocin and serotonin, if you've heard of both of them, can be easily produced in a matter of 30 seconds. For that, let's finish this whole exercise with that beautiful 30-second exercise. Can I request all of you to stand up, please? If somebody is sleeping next to you, please make them stand up. Thank you. So it's very easy. As a happiness expert, lift both your palms up. The center of your palm, both the palms have got 2 nerves. If you start pressing those 2 nerves independently, it produces and releases oxytocin and serotonin, the happiness-producing hormone, right? If you're stressed, anxious, you keep doing like this all the time, right? That is because there is a nerve here that produces happiness called oxytocin and serotonin. It releases happiness and joy and makes you feel better. Are you able to feel it? Quickly? And can we attach this to and keep pressing the nerve? Keep pressing the nerve, and do it a little more faster. Can you hit it a little more faster? Hit it, little more faster, hit it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the standing ovation. It's been an honor delivering this beautiful keynote to all of you. Uday, I promise you there'll be a standing ovation. You saw this for yourself. If somebody comes and tells you that there is a nerve in the center of your palm that produces happiness, it's absolute bullshit. Don't believe that person. Please be seated and try and create happiness in your own way. The smiles that you just erupted in your own way to the world at large. The world becomes a better place driven by smiles and happiness and not by anything else. Thank you so much for this time. Be happy or die trying. Thank you so much. Until next time, this is Mike Murali. Lots of love and happiness to you.